Hi guys, welcome back to Heritage High School Automotive Program, Panther Automotive. Here at Heritage High School, we're doing some videos for you guys in the maintenance and light repair programs. And today we're going to show you guys how to use the identifier. The AC identifier identifies refrigerant 134A. The identifiers are specific to the actual refrigerant that we use. A couple of different specific refrigerants these days, so you have to have an identifier for all of those. 1234 YF is not the same as 134A, so each of those has its own independent identifier. And today I'm just going to run through how to use the identifier for 134A before you ever hook up an AC machine to a 134A or 1234YF system. You want to make sure that the refrigerant that is in there is virgin refrigerant. There's no chemicals in it, no additives, no contaminants. That would be considered anything that's not that pure refrigerant would be a contaminant, and that would be a problem that would contaminate our $5,000 machine, and certainly not something we want to do. So always identify the refrigerant first using our Matco brand identifier here. It's actually a MASTERCOOL made, sold by Matco, and there is a list of instructions. All right, and these are the instructions for that. And there are a couple of universal truths that we want to do. Obviously, we're going to have a power source and a refrigerant port, so those things you need to find first. In addition, you want to make sure that you have a pair of safety glasses on, and if you're dealing with refrigerant, gloves can be a good idea also. We're only dealing with the low side at the moment, so minimal problem with any kind of exposure to that. Remember, refrigerant boils at a very, very low temperature and can actually be under some high pressure. You want to be very, very careful and know what you're doing before you get into it. This is not something to fumble along and learn as you go. This is something that you want to have some pre-recognition of some safety with. So again, safety glasses, proper PPE is going to be important. We have our machine here, our identifier, and our MASTERCOOL identifier is going to have a hookup for the low side, which is blue. And in this case, the machine is going to be hooked up right here. And so we're going to do a couple of things here as you follow along with the instructions that I showed you earlier. Obviously, we're going to hook up the power, and this is going to cycle through, and you may be able to see those lights cycling through there. All right, but again, for the instructions here, this is laminated, and this is specific to Heritage High School kids. All right, and if you're in a different automotive program and you have a similar identifier, it's going to have very similar instructions. Make sure that you use the instructions that come with your machine. So once we do a startup here, we're going to hit the next button, and we're going to let this thing warm up, and this could take about 90 seconds. So again, we have a fender cover in place here. Our fender cover is protecting not only our equipment, but the customer's car, obviously. We got it tucked underneath there. When we do an identify, we do want to let this thing settle, and we want to make sure that the machine is warming up and the car has been shut off and has settled for 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes, and let that system equalize and come down away, and plus that's going to give you time to set up. All right, so once the lights have sequenced and we push our next button, and we're going to wait 90 seconds, we're going to hit the calibration button. We're actually going to hit the next button. Once it says calibrating, it's going to start flashing here in a minute, and we're going to give this bulb a squeeze 5 times. All right, and we're going to press the next button once that happens, and we're waiting for the calibrating light to come on right now, which should only take a few more minutes at best. And again, remembering while we're waiting for that to happen that this is a quick release coupler that is going to go on the low side only. All right, so big hoses mean low side pressure. All right, big hoses mean low side pressure. Small hoses, all right, these small hoses right here, that means high side liquid. All right, we want low side gas pressure. Okay, low side gas pressure. All right, here we go. We're going to hit the, we're going to squeeze the bulb 5 times. All right. And then we're going to hit the next button. All right. It's going to calibrate. And then for about 60 seconds, it's going to do a calibration. And then it's going to say analyzing. All right. Once it says analyzing, we're going to hook this up. And we're going to thread this down, all right, onto our low side service port, which in this case on a GM vehicle is right here on the accumulator. This is a fixed orifice tube system, or FOT. Orifice tube systems are going to have a fixed orifice tube and not a TXV. So this dictates that it has an accumulator and not a receiver dryer. On our air conditioning systems, there are 2 styles: fixed orifice tube with an accumulator, or a TXV system, or thermal expansion valve, and that is going to have a receiver dryer on it. Both of them have similar properties, all right? And we are saying analyze now, so we're going to go ahead and hook that up, thread this down, and once we thread that down, it's actually going to push on the Schrader valve and allow a sample to be taken in, all right? And we're going to hit the next button, and it's going to go ahead and analyze. As it does that, it's taking a sample of that refrigerant, which is under low pressure gas, again, and that refrigerant is going into the machine, and we're going to get a pass or a fail. Ideally, we want a pass. If we do get a fail, there is a contaminant in there, or if we get a fail with an excessive air, that means that the system is probably empty. Although it doesn't have any refrigerant in it, it also didn't fail because it had an excessive amount of chemical. It had an excess in air. So this should take about 60 seconds, and we're looking for a pass light here, and we have passed. All right, so everything is great. Now we can hook up our machine to this vehicle and do a performance check or whatever services we're going to do to it. All right, there is one last step here, and we want to make sure and remove our sample hose. Remember, there's a small amount of pressure in there, and we are going to hit the next button, and we're going to squeeze that bulb 5 times. All right, and it'll be ready for use again. That clears out the sample that we just took, and we're going to allow that to settle for a minute, and we'll be good to go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video.